basically we know that medication works for symptoms, but it doesn't change timing in the brain. And they did this study, which was essentially a 15-week study, and they were looking at primarily boys that were at a certain age, and they all had a diagnosis of ADHD. And I said, you know what, that's a good thing. Why don't I suggest to them that they bring Interactive Metronome in on this, right? And we do that with my work and my program with Interactive Metronome. Yeah. And so they did a battery of neuropsychological tests, and something that they had developed called a quotient machine, using a psychological measurement, but also what they did was they used infrared cameras to measure the amount of movement of the head in the body. Kids with with ADHD, they move more and they see it on the camera. So anyway, what they did was they did this brain imaging. And so these kids went through the program, and then afterwards they were retested and they were re-imaged. And they showed me, where it measured the attention part, but then it also measured the hyperactivity part. And what it showed was that there was a significant difference, that there was a difference that was even beyond what was seen with medication, as far as their improvement in attention and focus and in these objective measurements.
What about the physical changes, the network changes that they saw in the imaging? Can you speak to that?
Yeah, so they saw that there were physical changes in essentially the coordination or the functional connectivity of the brain. And they showed that there was greater synchronization, where areas in the right hemisphere that were underdeveloped came up and got faster, and areas in the left hemisphere that were overactive and created more the hyperactive movements and overactivity actually came down. And that the communication between and the white matter literally grew, got bigger and thicker and more connected. And so there was an actual change in the brain, not only in the neuropsychological measurements and in the functions, but literally in not just the physical, but more importantly in the timing and the coordination and the synchronization.
Well, you could see there was a physical change. Like the brain physically could be seen changing,
right,
with enough reps.
Right. Not only did it change it, it normalized it.
Yeah.
And that's something that medication does not do. Can't do it. So, it's just a great tool, and there's great studies.